The Cyclones. Here's the way Iowa State will bat it around. Serenity Trice, the second baseman, will lead things off, followed by Johnson, Allen, Clemens, Reagan Bartholomew, Malott, Carly Ford, Nosen, and Poole, the right fielder, will wrap things up. And in the circle for the Cowgirls in her debut in Cowgirl Stadium. A long time coming. Young lady out of Artesia, New Mexico, Riley Crandall.
And Riley Crandall got a few starts early in the season and then was out for a bit with injury, but back today in the circle for the Cowgirls.
And Serenity Trice gets a base hit as she rifled that one right past Talon Edwards at third into left field. And Trice is on the boards, and here's the way the Cowgirls will line it up across the plate. Edwards, Bloodworth, Rosie Davis at second, and Godwin with Amanda Hassler getting the start today behind the plate. Worship, Delgadillo, Cheese, as she's known in center field. Claire Tim in right field, and again the aforementioned Riley Crandall in the circle as Iowa State's already on the bags, and a good start for them as Tatum Johnson, the center fielder, a junior out of Chino Hills, California, batting .338 on the season. And just like in game one, they want to get that early start, that early lead. They led it 1-0 after the top of the first, but Rosie Davis came back and tied it up, and we had a ball game, pretty much tight ball game, all the way into extras. Another beautiful day here in Stillwater, lots of sunshine with a noon start. Pretty good crowd here on hand for this one as well. Cowgirls dipped below 500 in the conference with the loss and have a chance to still salvage the series, but today very important for them and for Iowa State. They're trying to continue to add to a record, Rachel, which is they had never won 8 games in Big 12 play. They'd won 8 in the old Big 8 days, but never 8 in the Big 12 era. They did that yesterday and looking for number 9 and shattering that old record of 7.
Exactly, and with still 3 conference series left, I imagine they're going to rack up way more than just the 8 that they already have now.
Well, Trice got to second on a pass ball, but Crandall comes back with a strikeout at Tatum Johnson right there.
I love that response by Riley Crandall, kind of settling into the game a little bit, using something off speed, low in the zone, and getting an early strikeout.
That one at the knees, right on the inside corner to Angelina Allen. Moreno Valley, California product, and probably the star of the team, I would say. She's certainly had a good career at Iowa State.
Yeah, she was an All-American last year, hit .435 last season with 22 doubles and 11 home runs, so a lot of power in her swing, and also a high average hitter, just very good at the plate. I think this season numbers down just a little bit, but she's still doing extremely well, having a great season for the Cyclones.
Started all 51 games last year, had 74 hits. Played for the Corona Angels, who won the PGF National Championship back in her earlier days, and she takes that one in the dirt, 2-2 to count. It's interesting talking to Coach Pinkerton about his roster and the fact that they don't necessarily have a Sammy Williams, or they don't have the Spellhogs or the big names that were always at the top of the standings in the Big 12, but he feels like they've got great depth. They're youthful, and there's a lot of depth. He feels good about the makeup of this team, even though there's not maybe that standout kid above everybody else. 2-2, that one a rise ball out of the zone, count goes full.
Yeah, it's like if you look at their offensive stats top to bottom, there isn't, like you said, one person that just stands out above the rest. They work very well as a team, and they have players that get on and players that move them over, and then players that bring them in and just play team offense very well.
That one spun right back towards the press box, and the count will stay full. Trice still standing at second in scoring position for an early opportunity for the Iowa State Cyclones. Wind is blowing out today. We expect more offense, certainly than we had yesterday, although we did have 3 home runs in that ball game. There's one hit to Rosie Davis. Flip over to first in time for the out. Trice will advance to third. And there is 2 gone for the 4-hole hitter, Jesse Clemens, who had quite the day yesterday as Riley Crandall tries to settle in here.
Yeah, Clemens going 4 for 4 yesterday against Malin, the All-American. I think her average went up like 30 points. I was looking yesterday. So just a heck of a day at the plate. She was doing it all too. She pulled a couple of balls and hit some the opposite way. It just seemed like anything that she saw yesterday, she was putting a good barrel on it.
Yeah, she would love to get one more of those right here and continue that hot streak, as that would score a run if she could get one out of the infield. She starts ahead here 2-0. Crandall obviously being very careful with her. Very aware of what was going on yesterday with Clemens. Just a freshman. That one goes right at her there, fouled back, 2-1. I don't know how many freshmen get to hit in the 4-hole.
I was just going to say, she doesn't look like a freshman up there, and that's exactly why she's in the 4-hole. She is very disciplined at the plate, swings at good pitches, and swinging like a veteran.
Yeah, she certainly looked like that yesterday, as that one's fouled back as well. So the count will leave it at 2-2. 2 gone, 1 on for Iowa State, trying to make some noise in the top half of the first. And the count will go full again here. So back-to-back full counts on Iowa State batters. Riley Crandall injured early in the year, had an injury, sat out much of the season as that one tipped into the glove and then out past Hassler. So she didn't get a chance, and they've really used her in very short stints, trying to redevelop her and stretch her game. She's only been pitching about 2 innings at a time in her last several outings, and they've been very careful with her bringing her back because they know they're going to need her at the end of the year. There's the 3-2. That one is hit into right field. Tim will get underneath that one, and there is the 3rd out of the inning. So the Cyclones will strand 1. We go to the bottom of 1. 0-0. Cowgirl Cyclones, game 2 of the series. Of the first, the Cowgirls, Talon Edwards will lead things off for the Cowgirls. Rosie Davis, Wark, Godwin. Wark getting reinserted as the designated player. Hassler behind the dish. Claire Tim. Cheese out in center field, and Tia Warsop, who had a 2 for 4 day yesterday, and Megan Bledworth went 2 for 3 with that home run. Double RBI, had a big day yesterday. And looking at the picture, we saw this young lady. She came in relief, Jaden Ralston out of Paso Robles, California. Yesterday reliever, today she's a starter.
Ralston threw the last 4 innings of the game yesterday, only giving up 1 earned run. Really good outing for her. She threw a ton of rise balls to the Oklahoma State offense and got Oklahoma State to just swing and have tons of pop outs all day. So imagine she's going to continue that today.
Ralston, first pitch in there, called strike to Talon Edwards. Edwards yesterday was hitless, did draw a walk, and was able to score. But looking for her first hit of the series. That's, you're the umpire, home plate umpire, say that is up. Umpires for today's ball game. I've got there, here we go. Home plate's Robert Gonzalez. Dustin Douglas is at first, and Keith Kearney, who was behind the plate yesterday, is now at third, and there's strike 2.
And yesterday, the Cowgirls offense in general just did not look very disciplined at the plate. They were swinging at balls and taking strikes, and so I know that's a huge focus for them today.
That one is popped out to pull in right field, and Talon Edwards just missed that one. And let's take a look at the defensive alignment for the Cyclones. Around the bags, Malott, Bartholomew, Trice at second, Clemens at first, Carly Ford back behind the plate. And around the outfield, left to right, Angelina Allen, Tatum Johnson in center, and Tiana Poole with Ralston in the circle. And that'll bring up the second batter of the inning, second batter of the ball game for the Cowgirls, Rosie Davis. Had a good day yesterday. Ended up going 2 for 4, had 3 RBI in the game. So of the 4 runs scored, she had 3 of them for Oklahoma State. And the first pitch to her is a called strike. Into the wind, blowing left to right. Pretty good wind coming through across that outfield here this afternoon. It'll be a good day for pool hitters.
Yeah, it's funny, the opposite of the way it was blowing yesterday. Like you said, Michaela Work's ball that went so high and just kind of stopped and came straight down on the warning track, I think would have been over the fence by like 20 feet today.
I think you're exactly right. There's a good inside-out swing, and Rosie goes oppo there to give the Cowgirls their first base runner. And she'll hold that up to a single as we take another look.
Rosie Davis seeing it well at the plate right now, taking this pitch on the outer half and just going with it. Exactly what you need to do with a low and away pitch. Love her opposite field approach. Yesterday her home run was right over the right field fence. She's just doing such a good job seeing the ball deep and taking it the opposite way.
So Ralston will have to deal with Davis. Now she's got to deal with Wark, who had that big hit we talked about. And we talked again. I just thought it was funny because Coach Pinkerton told me, he said, when I saw it, I went, you've got to be kidding me. But then he said, I saw Tatum Johnson set up differently. It didn't look like she was playing a home run ball. I thought, well, maybe it's not gone. But boy, I think we all on this side of home plate thought it was gone, including Coach. And then he said, no, I saw it just started to die. And I thought, we're going to be okay here. And of course, got the win in extra innings. But after that ball hit yesterday, that kind of ball today in this wind, as you mentioned, probably going to be out. So she's getting that opportunity in the 3-hole as a designated player today. Gets underneath that one and spins it back into the crowd, or at least behind the Iowa State dugout. It's interesting because of the concert. We talked about it. We're going to talk a little more about that today. Talk about N7 and the turquoise jerseys. But as I was coming in early this morning, that one is hit into left field, and Allen is going to be there, and Davis will have to retreat back to first. But as I was coming in, I noticed the bus for Iowa State was coming from the north. And so I asked them this morning, where are you guys staying? They're actually staying in Tulsa. No. So they're driving over an hour both ways to get here back and forth. And Coach is from Tulsa. He said, selfishly, guess what? For me, I got to see some family. I'm okay with that. But he goes, and I understand and I know what's going on here this weekend, but that is very unusual to have to drive that far here to get to Stillwater games. As Carly Godwin will get an opportunity.
Yeah, that is interesting. I would have thought for sure they would have had booked their stay a while ago and would have been able to get into a hotel, but that just shows you how many people are in Stillwater right now.
That's exactly right. You know, and we talked a little bit about it during game one, but it was such a lightning in a bottle moment, and the concert kept selling out, and the next date and the next date and the next date, and then immediately everybody started booking those hotels. So no one was anticipating that, as that one is going to be hit softly to Malott. Malott makes the throw to Clemens, and the Cowgirls will strand a runner just like Iowa State. It's 0-0. We're going to top 2 here in Stillwater. At that point, we had several young ladies that were Native American, and he's like, man, it just makes sense. I would love to be a part of that. And Nike came alongside and said, yeah, you know what, we'll do that. And you see it a lot in basketball. Don't see it as much in softball, but Oklahoma State and Kenny Gajewski certainly wanted to be a part of that, as you see Bartholomew step in for Iowa State. But it looks good. It's a good look for Oklahoma State. I like the teal.
I love the blue jerseys, and the Cowgirls usually wear these a couple times throughout the season. And Coach G, before the game, said they're just absolutely honored to wear the jersey, and they take a ton of pride in being able to represent the Native American culture. It means so much to Oklahoma and just the country in general, so it's very cool.
That ball, it is indeed. That ball hit pretty well to right, but Tim underneath it, so Bartholomew will fly out to right, and one gone, one away here at the top of the second. I'll bring up Sydney Malott out of Liberty, Missouri. 307 hitter. Malott yesterday 2 for 3, had 3 RBI, had a big day for Coach Pinkerton and the Cyclones. And the 1-0. The home plate umpire say no, it's out. So ball just a little outside there.
Malott was really just the difference maker yesterday. Those 3 RBIs out of the 5 runs that they put up. She had an amazing game, and kind of similar to Clemens, she was just hitting everything they threw at her. She hit one of her home runs over the right field fence. The other one was an up and in pitch that she pulled over the left field fence. Didn't matter where you were throwing it to her yesterday. She was going to hit it hard.
Yeah, 2 for 3 and a walk. And as you mentioned, those 3 RBI, and just had a really big day. She was, again, part of that was Clemens in the 4 for 4 day, but Malott, little farther down the order, was extremely productive as well. That one is hit, and it's going to get in that wind we were talking about. It's going to be at the wall, and it is gone. Home run for Sydney Malott, and she continues to be a factor in this series. Right at the wall, looked like they were going to try to make a play, and the celebration continues there as we take another look at this one. I thought Worsup or Cheese might get a glove on it.
Yeah, I love that she takes this pitch up and in again and just drives, gets her hands up to it, drives it. This ball was hit extremely high in the air, and I think the wind helped a little bit take it out, but she got a really good barrel on that pitch. That's her 3rd home run in 3 at-bats. That is wild, and she is really seeing the ball well.
Yeah, in fact, she very much so is, and it's a great job. And as you said, again, she hit that ball a mile high, and that wind just carried it and carried it and carried it. Worsup, it's hard to tell, obviously, from depth perception how far over the wall that was, but she did get up high and had a chance to try to get a glove on it, but good effort, but just too well hit.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you have to prepare for a little bit when you put Riley Crandall out there, who throws a lot of rise balls, and with the pitches up in the zone, it's a little bit easier for some hitters to get their barrels under the ball a little bit, pop them up, and sometimes carry out of the yard on a really windy day like today.
Carly Ford, who got that game-winning RBI in the 8th inning, is ahead 2-1 here, and she started out 2-0, and now 3-1, and I think you're seeing Crandall, after giving up the home run, trying to be a little cautious, and as you would anticipate. And that's the thing, coming back from injury, she's only pitched, as I said, a couple of 3 innings at a time in each outing, and they've been very careful. So she's very much trying to find her rhythm again as a star pitcher, which she came in with that expectation.
Yeah, after transferring in from Baylor, she had a fantastic season last year at Baylor, and coming in, a lot of high hopes for her. I know the fans are super excited to see her getting back into the circle, but there is just a tough time period when you are coming back from an injury. It's just going to take a couple of outings to get back to what you know you can do.
Yeah, and it looked like it was going to be a good start for her here in the top of the second, but after a home run and a walk issue, now a conversation with Carrie Eberly, the pitching coach for the Cowgirls, and Carrie comes out, and you know, you just see how big Carrie is talking to Riley. Riley's a tall kid, you know, but go back to when Carrie Eberly was in the circle. You talk about then the Cowgirls do immediately get Katie Coots up to start working a little bit in the outfield, or in the bullpen rather, but I mean, Carrie Eberly was an imposing figure in the circle.
Yeah, definitely. I hit off her a couple times, and it's just, she's very intimidating in the circle. And I think
she could kind of be there when intimidating when she's having a conversation with you, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Here's what I need you to do. Okay, coach, whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do. Carrie's actually extremely well organized, and she game plans everything, even to the point where I think Kenny G at times like, really, are we going to talk about this again? Have we already not? She just loves to be organized, and they come in with an absolute plan with every single game. Now, the game may dictate and change some things, but no matter what the scenario is, they've got a card that they want to go to, and this is what we were going to do, and this is we're going to stick to it, even if your gut maybe say this isn't right. Analytics says it is, and they've been very deliberate in that.
100%. I know, speaking firsthand, being in the office, preparing for games and series, they are just diving into the spray charts and the stats, the analytics, the film, just going head to toe on everything. And that's what's so interesting about softball and the advancement of the game, is how much is available to coaches and players and scouting wise. It's a lot of fun.
It is, and obviously, again, now then, what is the card going to tell them as Nosen ends up getting in walks. So a home run and back-to-back walks gives Tiana Poole, the right fielder, an opportunity right here. Yesterday, Poole went 0 for 2 and had a couple of strikeouts, and she starts ahead here 1-0. So a lot of consecutive balls thrown here, and it's a good job by Hassler to come out and talk to her catcher. It's a good time for a conversation.
Yeah, and these pitches aren't missing by much. They're all around the zone. I think she's just trying to hit those corners, which all pitchers are trying to do, and not getting a lot of calls going her way right now. And it is early in the game, so there is kind of that adjustment period.
So can you get out of the jam? Couple of free passes, and there's a called strike. That may settle the nerves just a little bit for Riley Crandall. Now, Riley's not nearly, at least to this point, what we have seen as emotional, shows her emotions as much as we have seen with Ruby Malin, as she gets another strike right there and now starting to settle back in. But she's not nearly as domineering in the circle as maybe some other pitchers we've seen.
I think she has more of that calm, cool, and collected presence, which I love to watch as well. I know everyone loves like the super high energy pitching, and that's great. And there she gets the strikeout against Poole. Great bounce back for Riley Crandall.
Absolutely. Got her caught looking. Let's take another look at this pitch.
Yeah, I love that pitch on the outer half. Great pitcher's pitch with 2 strikes. As a batter, just want to do your best to fight that off, especially with runners on base. You can't leave it up to the umpire, especially at this point in the game. But I love that response by Crandall. You know, the home run and then the back-to-back walks, and then immediately coming back, getting a strikeout, and holding off the momentum of Iowa State a little bit.
Trice sprayed one into right field just past Helen Edwards, her first time up. This is the second time through the order. And she's got runners at first and second, and count even at 1-1. Where she hit it before would not have scored a run, most likely, if fielded cleanly, but give their team an opportunity. And she started to bunt it the first time. Let's see what the approach is here. The 1-1 shows slap, and that one misses. 2-1. Now, the other thing, Riley doesn't work real quickly either, right? I mean, she's, you know, some pitchers immediately want the ball, they want to go right back. She works the clock, pitch clock a little bit more than some. Already down to 3. As that one spun back, 2-2.
I really like that as a pitcher, to just stay in your routine and set the pace. I think that just helps them have a little bit more control over the at-bat.
Take control of the situation. That's what she does. She's dictating tempo, that is for sure. The 2-2 hit to Davis. Davis throws it over to Bloodworth. Touch of second and the force, and there's out number 3. But it took an extra inning. It was inning 1 yesterday. It's inning 2 today. Home run by Malatz. Iowa State on top 1-0 over the Cowgirls.